giving us a chance to be permanently established here in Vrindavan. I think it is a very, very auspicious event for us to preach and establish as many branches all over the world was Prabhupada's desire. And I can see how many people are waking up to this ISKM's objective of Prabhupada being the spiritual master. I think you also can see, I just posted a letter who was sent by our Nitai Bhavan, who was initiated by Pentagumna Swami, and he has written a letter to his ex-guru rejecting him. Perhaps you also can read that letter. So again, you can see how by the efforts of all of you, preaching in different places, it's all adding up, showing the vibrancy and the true ideals of ISKM. Evidently, we have also opened up a very, strong center in Assam, Guwahati, Assam, headed by our Murali Lola Prabhu. And there we have at least a few people are lined up who want to take Prabhupada as their guru. So all these are very, very inspiring to see how ISKM is striving, forward in many sides of many parts of the globe. But immediately it is very, very, remarkable and very encouraging. So this is our report from this side. So I hope if you have, some good news, let us know.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very insightful and encouraging updates. So kindly, dear devotees, please step forward. So in any way that you may be of any help in especially all of these centers near about. And if you would like to be a part of this journey, then please feel free. And you can please contact me or any local contact that you may have. Continue your effort forward. With that, I would like to ask everyone, please open up the forum for today's session. Please ask any questions that you may have. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks.
Nobody has questions, looks like. What to do? I think Satish is there. We were there with him in Bombay. Satish, how was the feedback from all those people who attended the program?
Yes, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna. All things were good and people were keen to attend few sessions. So I have shared the details of every Friday what you conduct question answers. Let's see how many people joins, because I've started sharing them since last week, and hope to see some of people join the sessions probably in coming days.
Very good. They like the program in your house?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. All.
Very good.
Hare Krishna.
So someone is asking this question, Pitru Paksha. Pitru Paksha, huh? Pitru Paksha is what? Worship of Pitras, huh? Is it?
Yeah, the Shraddha month, Prabhu.
Or it's the worship of the Pitras, huh?
Yeah.
So, Pitra worship is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Who knows where is that verse? Pitra? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, those who worship the forefathers will go to the planet of the forefathers. Yes?
925 Prabhu.
What? 9,
925 of
925, very good. So here it is mentioned Pitra worship. So those who worship the forefathers, they go to the planet of the forefathers. Yes? Someone want to read? Anyone want to read? Help?
Those Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me.
So the purpose,
If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose, such as the process technically known as Darsha Paurnamasi. These are vividly described in the fruitive activities portion of the Vedas, which recommends a specific worship of demigods situated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pita planets by performing a specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or pisacha. Pisacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and they think that it is spiritualism, but such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planets of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas achieve the Pita planets, or by practicing the black arts achieve the ghostly planets, why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live, and because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahmajyoti. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead.
So this is called the worship of the forefathers, So one problem with this kind of a program is that they don't come into devotional service at all, Another place here, it's explained here, Pitra Deva Vrata. You can see here, worship of the forefathers. Anyone want to read this?
Such materialistic persons attracted by sense gratification and devoted to the forefathers and demigods can be elevated to the moon, where they can drink an extract of the Soma planet. They again return to this planet. Purport. The moon is considered one of the planets of the heavenly kingdom. One can be promoted to this planet by executing different sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literature, such as pious activities in worshipping the demigods and forefathers with rigidity and vows. But one cannot remain there for a very long time. Life on the moon is said to last 10,000 years according to the calculation of the demigods. The demigods' time is calculated in such a way that one day, 12 hours, is equal to 6 months on this planet. It is not possible to reach the moon by any material vehicle like a Sputnik, but persons who are attracted by material enjoyment can go to the moon by pious activities. In spite of being promoted to the moon, however, one has to come back to this earth again when the merits of his works in sacrifice are finished. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.21. Tetam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam krishne punye martyalokam vishanti.
So you see, these people who are, in this category, they are very much materialistic. Actually, it is described here in this verse. Someone want to help read? Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance, Prabhupada. Shall I read this, Prabhu?
Yeah, please read.
Yes, Prabhu. Persons who are too addicted to this material world execute their prescribed duties very nicely and with great faith. They daily perform all such prescribed duties with attachment to the fruitive results.
Purport.
In this and the following 6 verses, the Srimad Bhagavatam criticizes persons who are too materially attached. It is enjoined in the Vedic scriptures that those who are attached to the enjoyment of material facilities have to sacrifice and undergo certain ritualistic performances. They have to observe certain rules and regulations in their daily lives to be elevated to the heavenly planets. It is stated in this verse that such persons cannot be liberated at any time. Those who worship demigods with the consciousness that each and every demigod is a separate god cannot be elevated to the spiritual world. What to speak of persons who are simply attached to the duties for the upliftment of their material condition. Such persons, impelled by the mode of passion, are full of anxieties and always aspire for sense gratification due to uncontrolled senses. They worship the forefathers and are busy day and night improving the economic condition of their family life or their social or national life. Such persons are called Trivargika because they are interested in the 3 elevating process. They are averse to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can give relief to the conditioned soul. They are not interested in the Supreme Personality's pastimes, which are worth hearing because of his transcendental prowess. Purport. According to the Vedic thought, there are 4 elevating principles, namely religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Persons who are simply interested in material enjoyment make plans to execute prescribed duties. They are interested in the 3 elevating process of religious rituals, economic elevation, and sense enjoyment. By developing their economic condition, they can enjoy material life. Materialistic persons, therefore, are interested in those elevating processes which are called Trivargika. Tri means 3, Vargika means elevating processes. Such materialistic persons are never attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they are antagonistic towards him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is here described as Hari Meda, or he who can deliver one from the cycle of birth and death. Materialistic persons are never interested in hearing about the very marvelous pastimes of the Lord. They think that they are fictions and stories and that the Supreme Godhead is also a man of material nature. They are not fit for advancing in devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Such materialistic persons are interested in newspaper stories, novels, and imaginary dramas. The factual activities of the Lord, such as Lord Krishna's acting in the battle of Kurukshetra, or the activities of the Pandavas, or the Lord's activities in Vrindavana or Dwaraka, are related in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which are full of the activities of the Lord. But materialistic persons who engage in elevating a position in the material world are not interested in such activities of the Lord. They may be interested in the activities of a great politician or a great rich man of this world, but they are not interested in the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Such persons are condemned by the supreme order of the Lord because they are averse to the nectar of the activities of the supreme personality of Godhead. They are compared to stool eating hogs. They give up hearing transcendental activities of the Lord and indulge in hearing of the abominable activities of materialistic persons. Purport. Everyone is addicted to hearing of the activities of another person, whether a politician or a rich man or an imaginary character whose activities are created in a novel. There are many nonsensical literatures, stories, and books of speculative philosophy. Materialistic persons are very interested in reading such literature. But when they're presented with genuine books of knowledge like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Purana, or other of the world, such as the Bible and Quran, they are not interested. These persons are condemned by the supreme order as much as hog is condemned. The hog is interested in eating stool. The hog is offered some nice preparation made of condensed milk or ghee. He won't like it. He would prefer obnoxious, bad smelling stool, which he finds very relishable. Materialistic persons are considered condemned because they are interested in hellish activities and not in transcendental activities. The message of the Lord, and besides that message, any information in which we may be interested is actually hellish. Such materialistic persons are allowed to go to the planet called Pitruloka by the southern coast of the sun, but they again come back to this planet and take birth in their own families, beginning again the same fruitive activities from birth to the end of life. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, verse 21, it is stated that such persons are elevated to the higher planetary system. As soon as their lifetimes of fruitive activities are finished, they return to this planet and thus they go up and come down. Those who are elevated to the higher planets again come back into the same family for which they had too much attachment. They are born and the fruitive activities continue again until the end of life. There are different prescribed rituals from birth until the end of life, and they are very much attached to such activities.
So who asked this question? Is it clear? Huh? Hello?
Yes, Prabhu.
Who asked?
It's me. My name is Madhabi.
Your name is Madhavi. Huh? Where you calling from?
I'm from Singapore.
Oh, you're from Singapore. Huh? Okay. So is it clear how you get to this Pitralok?
Yeah. Because this is Pitri Paksha is going on. So that's why I was kind of wanted to know about it.
So it is actually just like praying to demigods, going to the higher planets, worship
Yeah.
of the materialistic kind of desires will promote you to the Pitralok, you know.
Yeah.
So it is
Okay.
not very much recommended, it is. Here, such materialistic persons are allowed to go to the planet called Pitraloka, the southern cause of the sun. But again come back to this planet and take birth in their own families, beginning again the same fruitive activities of birth. So it is not a solution. Usually people who are highly materialistic, the resolution of devotion service does not take position in their heart. That's why it's highly not recommended to become materialistically involved, you know. Background somebody is talking, is it possible to mute that person? Huh? So this kind of materialistic person, they are not very much interested in serving the Lord or having anything to do with the devotees. They are very envious, you know. So it is not recommended to engage in materialistic activities because it doesn't help one, you know. Does not help one, you know, spiritually. You can see here, the same thing is repeated here. Intelligence of cruel-minded person is blinded by false pride based on great wealth, opulence, prestigious family connection, education, renunciation, personal duty, physical strength, and successful performance of Vedic ritual. When intoxicated with this false pride, such cruel person blasphemes the supreme personality of Godhead and his devotees. See, this is why becoming attracted to this materialistic qualities is very detrimental for one's spiritual advancement. Uh, these attractive qualities exhibited by the conditioned soul originally belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the reservoir of all attractive qualities. The moonshine is actually the reflected effulgence of the sun. Similarly, the living entity reflects a brief time, a particular quantity of the Lord's opulence. But not knowing that this artistic person become intoxicated by such reflected opulence and thus blinded, they condemn themselves more and more by criticizing the Lord and his devotees. They are unable to understand how they have become abominable, and it's difficult to prevent them from going to hell. You see, this is a problem. Huh? Yes? Yes? So you see how it is very dangerous to worship the demigods or worship the forefathers or worship, anybody but Krishna. Because the resultant reaction is not very conducive for one's ultimate benefit of going home back to Godhead. So Pitra Yagya or Deva, puja to the Devatas, they are all not very intelligent activities. It is for the less intelligent. Even demigod worship is condemned by Krishna himself. Similarly, anything other than worship of Krishna is not very much encouraged at all. But unfortunately, many people are not aware of all these things. Especially I've seen, I'm now here in India, many people are very much attracted to rituals. Now I think they're preparing for the Navaratri or something. Just before that there was Ganesh Puja, and before that there was Durga Puja, and so on and so forth, But nobody is actually understanding the purpose of human life, which is meant to go home back to Godhead, to love Krishna, that they are not knowing. Very unfortunate. So therefore, there's a very big opportunity to preach, If every one of you can help explain this matter with references, I'm sure many people will be awakened to the reality of the goal of life. Yes.
Hare Krishna, I think we lost Prabhu.
He's back. His video is on.
Hmm.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. Anybody have any other questions? Nobody has
Okay.
questions, yeah? Nice. Makes my job easy, I think.
So, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I ask a question, Prabhu? Am I audible?
I can
Yes,
hear you
Prabhuji.
loud and clear.
All right, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, actually, the subtle body and the gross body. The subtle body, after the death of the gross body, the subtle body is the carrier of the soul to the next body, and the subtle body
Yes.
is largely constitutes of mind and intelligence. Um, so, in that context, Prabhu, the intelligence should be a constant entity because it's not changed. So, how does the intelligence is manifested differently in different bodies? Although that should be a constant, because it doesn't change. It's a subtle body doesn't change.
How does the intelligence is carried on with the body, huh?
Yeah.
So you see, the mind and ego are the three aspects of the subtle body.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you are put into, let's say you are put into another body, so according to the body, say let's say we are put in the body of a dog, then you are given as much intelligence as been in the body of a dog, you know? You
Mhm.
understand? So when you
Yeah.
are put in the body of a human being, and you are given this facility whereby you can grow your intelligence by surrendering to the Lord through his devotees. There you
Mm.
get the spiritual intelligence. You understand? Only
Mm.
the human body, this facility is available. You cannot get to awaken your intelligence if you're in the body of an animal or any other species, you know.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
So intelligence is given by the Lord. That's why the Lord says for helping the living entity, I have given the Vedic scriptures, you know. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can see here, this is how the intelligence is awakened by knowledge. So Krishna is giving intelligence, you say here, Maya Mugda Jivere Naiswata Krishna Gyan. Jivere Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Puran. The conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna conscious by his own effort. Is it this point here?
Yeah.
So the intelligence not possible. But out of the curseless mercy, Krishna compiled the very teachings of the Puran. So you see, in order for the living energy to come out, it needs to get spiritual knowledge, Yes.
Yes.
So spiritual knowledge you cannot acquire by your own self. That's not possible. So the Lord then gives this. The forgetful conditioned soul is educated. You see this word here?
Yes.
So Krishna is educating the soul through the Vedic literature, the realized spiritual master, and so this he can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is, and he can understand that Lord Krishna is his eternal master and deliverer from the clutches of Maya. This way one can acquire real knowledge of his conditioned life and come to understand how to attain liberation. So intelligence can only be acquired. It's not something that you can try to figure out. It's not possible, You understand?
Yeah.
Whereas the mind, you can try to use your mind. Because you can use your mind, mostly you use your mind for sense gratification. But with intelligence, you can apply your mind in the service of the Lord.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. That's
you
right.
understand? Because you have to awaken your true ego, understand that you are an eternal servant of Krishna. And then, yes, everything will fit in, But if you don't have that resources to awaken your intelligence and to curb your false ego, then it will be difficult for you to come out, Then your mind will get astray to enjoying the senses, and in this way you become further entangled. This is how the intelligence and the ego work, and all this can only be possible by the help of a external source, some other person, either particularly a realized guru, who can give you the knowledge from the scriptures, not just knowledge anyhow, knowledge from the scriptures. Guru means they want to give you the knowledge from the scriptures. That's why Krishna compiled the Vedic knowledge, So the Vedas are to help the conditioned soul. Somebody who claims to be a guru but does not give you his knowledge, then he's not a guru. Because he cannot wake you up.
Yes.
Understand? And to get your false ego cut, you need the help of a guru. You cannot cut your false ego by your own self, that's not possible either. Understand? So all this plays a part, to completely cut false ego, which is the breeding down of all doubt. You must go and surrender to a person. Then sharpen knowledge from the instructions of sages and Vedic literatures, then a guru, Right?
Yeah.
So all this cutting the false ego, acquiring intelligence, all this you need a spiritual master to clean you up from this material condition. And that can only happen in the human platform. It cannot happen in any other platform. Not possible.
Right.
It's not possible in any other species of life except human species. So you now know how intelligence and ego plays a part. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, bro. Yeah.
That's why people, that's why the first thing is to surrender. If you don't surrender and submissively inquire, then it's not possible to come out of this mess.
Hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So knowledge is essential, and that is, knowledge means intelligence, no? If you got intelligence, you can acquire this knowledge.
Yeah.
And intelligence must be. If you don't have, Krishna, he says in the Bhagavad Gita, I'm sitting in the heart and I give the remembrance, the forgetfulness, and the knowledge. Yes?
Yeah.
Krishna is giving, and how Krishna will give? Through the mercy of the spiritual master. So without that, someone was asking me a question, why do we need a guru? Without guru, there's no meaning going out of life. It's not possible at all. Because how are you going to get this knowledge otherwise?
Yeah.
You cannot go and buy books and try to read, That's not possible. If you read too many books, on the contrary, you will get, what do you call that, disturbed, That's what happened to this. What was that verse? Who knows the verse from the CC? Is it 16, 11 or 1160? What is that? Who knows? This devotee was always reading too many books.
16:11.
1611, Madhya or Adi?
Ajaleva.
Very good. So you can see here, trying to figure out by your own self, this is not possible either, So here you can see by this verse, if one becomes the bookworm, reading many books and hearing many commentaries and instruction of many men, this will produce doubt within his heart. One cannot in this way ascertain the real goal of life. Although the Shastras are there and you try to figure out and read and everything, you only get confused. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 7:38 it said, Grantha Naiva Apasyat Bahuna Vyakyam Upayunjita. One should not read many books, nor should one try to make a profession of reciting many books, especially if one is a devotee. One must give up the ambition to be a learned scholar and this way earn a worldly reputation and financial facilities. If one diverts his attention to studying many books, he cannot fix his mind in devotional service, nor can he understand many scriptures, for they are full of grave statements and meaning. In this connection, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur his opinion that those who are attracted to studying many kinds of literature concerning various subject matters, especially fruitive activities and philosophical speculations, are derived from unalloyed devotional service because of their split attention. Man has a tendency, a general tendency towards fruitive activities, religious activities, ritualistic ceremonies, and philosophical speculation. A living entity thus bewildered since time immemorial does not understand the real goal of life, and thus his activities in life are wasted. Innocent people misled in this way are deprived of unalloyed Krishna bhakti, devotional service to the Lord. Tapan Mishra is a vivid example of such a person. He was a learned scholar, but he could not ascertain what the goal of life is. Therefore, he was given a chance to hear Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing Sanatana Goswami. Lord Chaitanya's instruction to Tapan Mishra is especially significant for a person who loiter here and there, collecting books and reading none of them, thus becoming bewildered regarding the aim of life. You see this point? So it's not that you can try to discover by reading the books by your own self. That's not possible.
Yeah.
Tapan Mishra being thus bewildered, he was directed a Brahmana in a dream to go to Nimai Pandit, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, official guru, to guide him to learn. So this is the process, to get knowledge, you need to get from guru. And to curb your false ego, you also need a guru. Of course, to secure the mind also you need a guru. So in all aspects, to control the subtle body, to guide it to the right direction, you need a guru. And a guru must be obtained by the mercy of Krishna. Not that you go out and find a guru. That is also is not a valid statement. A guru is given by Krishna. And then, yes, the spiritual life starts. Then by the direction of the bona fide guru, every time Prabhupada writes the word guru, you use the word bona fide.
Yeah.
If you get a non-bona fide guru, then you also cannot make progress. The guru must be teaching you the Vedic scriptures. That is the purpose of the guru. And the guru must help you control your mind. And the guru must help you curb your false ego. So this is practical application of intelligence, false ego, and the mind.
Yeah.
Understand this?
Yes, Prabhu. So basically, Prabhu, the subtle body undergoes change as well, based on the gross body.
No. The subtle body is carried with you for every birth. The subtle body is coming with you in every body, every birth. Only the gross body is burned or it is given up.
But if a human body, you have a higher intelligence, and because of lowly activity, you get into a body of a dog, then your intelligence, which is a part of a subtle
Even
body.
though, let's say, spiritually in this birth you have high intelligence, but when you change the body, you forget, as Krishna says to Arjuna. When you change your body, you forget. So you need to be revived. That intelligence has to be awoken.
Okay.
Just like you see in the example of Bilvamandu. He lost intelligence, and the prostitute Chintamani, she awoke his intelligence. Yes?
Yes.
So although you are, you have got all the knowledge, but next life, everything is covered. Again, to be, woken by the mercy of Guru and Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. That is a very pertinent point. Yes. Thanks. That is nice.
It's not that you go next life and you are, supercharged, you know everything, it's not possible.
Yes.
Bharat Maharaj is somebody,
Bharat
that's
Maharaj.
all a very rap. Bharat Maharaj, he obviously did not have a guru, looked like he remembered his whole
Yes.
life.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you are in that kind of category, then I have no explanation, but generally everybody forgets, even Arjuna is told that you forget. Remember, you forget, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to be revived. Our consciousness has to be woken up again,
Okay.
So that guru principle is very, very important in everybody's life. Provided he wants to surrender.
Yeah.
Of course, if he has done something spiritual, then he always will continue again. That's the unique thing about spiritual life. There's no loss,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Very helpful.
That. All right. Is my voice audible now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Any other questions? Everyone is very quiet, huh? Hello?
Yeah.
No questions, huh?
Hare Krishna, please suggest any topics that you may like to cover. That also is fine. Please feel free to chat or unmute yourself and speak up.
Everybody is worried they ask the wrong question, they're going to get scolding, I think. That's why they don't question. Hello? That's also there. Anyway. Nobody has questions, huh? I just came back from Radhakund. I was bath in, not bath, some water on my head, Radha and Shamkund. And of course, we visited Bhakti Siddhanta's house, where he stays. A very nice experience.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
So I have a small question. So when I think many of us get
I think
into
India has got very good potential, I think preaching in India is very, I would say, very dynamic. So you've got some relatives and all that in India, or if you are in India, you can always try to organize programs and do some preaching. It's so beneficial for everybody because people are not knowing even the basic, not understanding that Krishna is God, So, and they don't know also how to love God, You can somehow or other preach to your anybody you have in contact. It would be a very good service to elevate them to Krishna consciousness. Because that is the highest thing actually, and Krishna says that is the main thing. You can preach, that's very nice. I can see how so much opportunity for programs and, spreading Krishna consciousness. In fact, that I've been to Vrindavan for so many times since 1979. I've been coming to Vrindavan, but actually yesterday was the first time I had a public program. I never had that in Vrindavan. The first time it was public program, and I can see the potency of that program.
Haribol.
So why did merciful Krishna create obnoxious hell? If there's no hell, then how you get reformed? The whole idea of this punishment is to reform someone. It's not that hell is an eternal place where you go there and never return. It's not like that. You go there to spend your time reforming yourself. And if you get reformed, then you hesitant to again commit sinful activities. So that's why this whole material world, not only the hell, the material world itself, it's all painful. Just like in our body, we also have pain. And no doubt we also seek pleasure, but pain is also an inevitable part of our body. So why would Krishna create pain? Make us understand that, material world is painful, Either if you are not in hell or in anywhere for the matter, it is painful. Even in heaven also there is, it's not very blissful in the heaven also, it is said, In the heavenly planet also there's rivalry, and there is a lot of envy also. So it's not a place that it is full of happiness. One cannot find permanent happiness even on the heavenly planet, which one can attain in the next life by ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifice. Even in material heaven, the living entity is disturbed by rivalry with equals and envy of those superior to him. And since one's resident in heaven is finished with the exhaustion of pious and fruitive activities, the denizens of heaven are afflicted by fear, anticipating the destruction of their heavenly life. Thus, they resemble kings who, though enviously admired by ordinary citizens, are constantly harassed by enemy kings and therefore never attain actual happiness. So you can see here how there's a lot of pain. So this is an integral part of the material life, not only pleasure, pain. As you can see here in this verse, I don't see it here, maybe it is here, sorry. You can see here in this verse, in this material world, every materialist desires to achieve happiness and diminish his distress, and therefore he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activity for happiness, his condition of distress begins. So you can see how the material world is not only going to a hellish world is painful, but in the ordinary sense, in any part of the material world is painful, It is not a nice place actually. So the condition of this situation is only to awaken the living entity. The whole idea is to awaken the conditioned soul. My dear Lord, for one who is been cruelly burned in the blazing fire of material and misery, having fallen into the network of material existence, I do not see any possible shelter besides your two lotus feet, which are a shower of nectar extinguishing the fire of suffering. So this is the what we say, the purpose of the pain, to direct the living entity to the lotus feet of the Lord, because that position eradicates the pain, the suffering. So the whole idea is to awaken the conditioned soul to surrender to the Lord. That is the whole purpose. Material existence is like an ocean that is extremely difficult to cross. The conditioned souls haven't fallen into the ocean, which is not cool, but rather burns them with the fire of misery. If one is fallen into the sea and desires to get out, there is no rescue boat except the constant relishing within oneself of the pastime, narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the whole idea to stop pain, to bring the conditioned soul to the lotus feet of the Lord. So if the living entity awakens to that, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to teach us to chant. But the moment you bring Krishna into you, then this painful situation can be tolerated. And even if you are in a painful situation, by taking shelter of Krishna, then this pain is, minimized, It's greatly minimized. Yeah. You understand? So this is the power of the holy name, The holy name of the Lord is extremely powerful. If you just go to the Lord, then this pain is finished. So then when he gets this pain and he goes and he understands this, that there's a change, then immediately he becomes a realized soul, that he realized, no, I don't want this material nonsense. So when he realized that, then his material life is finished. So pain is induced to awaken the conditioned soul. And if there is no pain, then there is no purpose. He will go on staying in this material world and suffering. I mean, of course, there's no pain. Then in trying to become permanent here is also not a solution. You cannot try to take all of God's creation and misuse them and thinking it is fun. No, the Lord will not allow it. Just like now, there's a war going on in some part of the world. Why? It's because the reaction, whole scale slaughter, painful situation that to remind the living entity that no, you cannot be living here thinking that you will become happy. No. The whole idea is to return home back to Godhead and start loving the Lord. It is also there in another part of the Bhagavatam. You can see here. It says here that one should not try to make this material world also a permanent place. You can see here. A human being whose wife should never desire promotion to the heavenly planets or resident in hell. Indeed, a human being should also never desire permanent residence on the earth. For by such absorption in the material body, one becomes foolishly negligent of one's actual self-interest. So the self-interest is to go back home, back to Godhead, to become eternally situated again in our eternal position as servant of Krishna. Anything other than that is not permanent and it is an illusion. So we cannot try to be in this illusory state, that's not, that's foolish. Yeah? So we need to go back to the spiritual world. That is the main idea. That's why this painful situation has been created by the Lord. It is meant to awaken us to the real, to the real world, into the spiritual world. That is our real place. This material world is not our place, This material world is never our place. You can see here in these verses. My dear gentle friend, both you and I are exactly like two swans. We live together in the same heart, which is like the Manasa lake. Although we have been living together for many thousands of years, we are still far away from our original home. See this point here? So you understand our place, our place is there in the spiritual world, This is not our place, The original home of the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, both the Lord and the living entities live together very peacefully. Since the living entity remains engaged in the service of the Lord, they both share a blissful life in the spiritual world. However, when the living entity wants to enjoy himself, he falls down into the material world. Even while he is in that position, the Lord remains with him as the super soul, his intimate friend. His intimate friend. Because of his forgetfulness, the living entity does not know that the Supreme Lord is accompanying him as his super soul. And this way, the living entity every millennium Yes? Although the Lord follows him as a friend, a living entity, because of forgetful material existence, does not recognize him, So you see, this is the problem. Another verse again, illustrating this point. Again, another place it's those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremony as all in all. They do not know that the purpose of the Veda is to understand one's own home, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead lives, not being interested in their real home, their illusion and search of the other homes. See this point here? So we all need to go back to our original home. Generally, people are not aware of their interest in life to return home back to Godhead. People do not know about their real home in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there are many Vaikuntha planets, and the topmost planet is Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan. Despite the so-called advancement of civilization, there is no information on the Vaikuntha Loka, the spiritual planet. At the present moment, so-called advanced civilized men are trying to go to other planets, but they do not know that even if they go to the higher planet system, Brahmaloka, they have to come back again to this planet. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8:16, Brahma Bhuvana Loka, Punavartino, Juna Mamukete tu Kaunteya, Puna Janma Navidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who understands to my abode, one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. If one goes to the highest system within this universe, he still has to return after the effects of pious activities are finished. Space vehicle may go very high in the sky, but as soon as their fuel is finished, they have to return to the earthly planet. All these activities are performed in illusion. The real attempt should now be to return back home, back to Godhead. As is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Mat Yagino Pimam. Those who engage in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead return home back to Godhead. Human life is very valuable and one should not waste it in vain exploration of other planets. One should be intelligent enough to return to Godhead. One should be interested in information about the spiritual planet, Vaikuntha planet, and in particular the planet known as Goloka Vrindavan, and should learn the art of going there by the simple method of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Srimad Bhagavatam. Kalayavte dosha nide rajan asti eko mahan guna kitnadeva krishnasya mukta sangam parambhajya. One can go to the supreme planet Parambhajya simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is especially meant for people of this age. Kalay dosha nide. It is the special advantage of this age that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one becomes purified all material contamination and return home back to Godhead. There's no doubt about this. So this is why the pain is created, to make us understand this is not our place. Our place is the original home, the spiritual world. Although it is best to get into Krishna conscious tender age, as Prahlad Maharaj advised, but not everyone gets a chance to do that basically on family circumstances. Those who get into Krishna conscious in later part of life, is our accumulated piety from prayers for help to an advancement in Krishna conscious. How do we understand this? So, Krishna consciousness, whether you come in the early stage or late stage, but at least you have come to Krishna consciousness. That's the main thing, somehow or other we to get into Krishna consciousness. Sometimes some soul has to be awakened up later part of their life, and some souls had the opportunity to getting to the beginning of their lives. So in any situation, somehow or other getting into Krishna consciousness is very important. It doesn't mean that because he gets into Krishna consciousness late in life, he is hampered. No. You can see in this verse, sorry. So here you can see in this verse, Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Nirgunasya Udharitam Hayatuke Apati Avyavahita Ya Bhakti Purushottame. This verse, devotional service cannot be hampered by any means. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional as the uninterrupted by any material condition flows towards the Supreme Lord. So whether you come earlier or you come later or whenever, the moment you take to Krishna consciousness, then immediately, the devotional ecstasy is all developed. Because there are many examples of a person who come late, like Jamil, he came at the time of death, very late, at the last moment. Someone like Indrajumna, he fell down as an elephant and he came back as an elephant, and when he was dying, he remembered. So there are many cases of this, But the whole idea is to somehow or other become attached to Krishna. Naturally, if someone become a devotee, he always repents and he say, why did I come so late in my spiritual life? I could have started it much, much sooner. Because everyone is always, having that kind of a thought. But that is never late, It's better late than never, they say. So start your spiritual life and take it up seriously. Especially if you know you are late, better to become more, what we say, fixed up, because time is running out. You never know how much time you have. So soon as you take it up more seriously, then yes, sometimes a person may come early and also become a little frivolous, and not take it seriously. So that is also there. So in either case, it is always good to take up the spiritual program seriously. This is what it is all about, is it? Explained by Kunti Devi. Devahuti was asking this question, that how does this Maya ever release the conditioned soul? Yeah? So, in this question, asking this question, when does the Maya at least leave the living entity? So, she's asking this question. I take out the question. So you can see here in this question, this question is asked also by Uddhava, is also asked by the king Nimi, I think he also asked this question. So we will go to this part here. Sri Devati inquired, my dear Brahmana, does this material nature ever give release to the spirit soul? Since one is attracted to the other eternally, how is their separation possible? You see this point here. So she's asking this question, How did will Maya ever leave the soul? Looks like each of them are eternally attracted, eh? It goes further to say, as there is no separate existence of the earth and its aroma of water and its taste, there cannot be any separate existence of intelligence and consciousness. So she's giving the example of, when you say earth, then earth has got smell, You cannot separate the smell from the earth. Or water has got taste. You cannot separate this water from the taste. So how did this soul ever come out of this material consciousness? And even though he is a passive performer of all activities, how can there be freedom for the soul as long as the material nature acts on him and binds him? So this is the question, isn't it? Yeah? So this is how it is, when you are in Maya, that when you're young or you're old or whatever, this is how Maya is, covering the conditioned soul. Even if the great fear of bondage is avoided by mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principle, it may still appear again, since the curse has not ceased. So you see how the Maya is tightly bound the conditioned soul, Yeah? So she's asking this question, and Kapila Dev is answering this question. And he's saying here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one can get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me, and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me. By thus executing one prescribed duty, there will be no reaction, one will be free from the contamination of matter. So here he's saying that Maya, in order to come out, one must get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me. So this is a very important point. So if you ever want to get release from Maya, it is not a question of time factor. It's a question of becoming serious. Whether you start beginning or you start at an older age or whatever, it doesn't count. The real point is that one must become very serious in his endeavor. Again, he repeats the same thing, This devotional service has to be performed strongly, in perfect knowledge and with transcendental vision. One must be strongly renounced and must engage in austerity and perform mystic yoga in order to be firmly fixed in self-absorption. See again, he's stressing the word devotional service has to be performed strongly, in perfect knowledge or understanding, and with transcendental vision. You cannot just do this devotional service without a proper knowledge and renunciation. It is not possible. So, in order to be in that position, one must perform devotional service strongly. Yes, now he says seriously, now he says strongly. Look at all the terms. The influence of material nature is covered the living entity, and thus it is as if the living entity is always in a blazing fire. But by the seriously discharging devotional service, this influence can be removed, just as wooden stick which has cast of fire themselves consumed by it. So you see how the word strongly, seriously, again seriously is emphasized. So if anyone wants to become strongly, come out of this entire entanglement of Maya, it is not a question of time, it is a question of becoming serious. So if you seriously discharge your devotional service, then there is a good chance of coming out of this entanglement. If a person does not do it strongly, seriously, then it's very, very difficult. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, one should do this devotional service in an unfailing manner. Yes? It says here in this verse, Mamcha Vyobacharena Avyapicharena Bhakti yogena sevate saguna samadhitaitam brahma bhujaya kalpate. It says here, one who engages in full devotion service, unfailing in all circumstances. At once, this unfailing, what does that mean? Again, it means strongly, seriously, the same point. At once transcend the mode of material nature and thus come to the level of Brahman. So the moment he comes to the Brahma Bhuta platform, then yes, he is very firmly situated in spiritual life, and then he enjoys transcendental bliss. So to come to that stage, one has to become seriously performing his spiritual the regulation and devotional duties. Otherwise, there's no scope, Even if he come early and he's doing it, and is not seriously doing it, then it's again a question mark. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hello?
Yes,
You
Prabhu.
understand the question now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah?
Yep.
So try to endeavor to do, try to endeavor to become a little steady, spiritually,
Yes, Prabhu.
and facilitate. Never say that you become late, therefore you're missing out. No. Actually, the real test is this, how we can remember Krishna at the time of death, Ante Narayana Smriti, right? What is that verse number? Ante Narayana Smriti. Punos Janmalabha Parapumsham Ante Narayana Smriti. Everybody? What's the number of that verse?
216, bro.
What is that?
216, Srimad Bhagavatam.
216, huh? So here in this verse, Etavan Sanka Yoga Abhyam Swadharma Paranistaya Janmalabha Parapumsham Ante Narayana Smriti. This is the test. The highest perfection of human life achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic power, or by perfect discharge of occupational duties to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. This is the perfection. You can come late or come early or whatever, but if you cannot remember the Lord, then what is the use? Simply it's all waste of time. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Is it not?
Yes, Prabhu.
What is happening here? I'm not going to the verse. This verse has been quoted many times here. Savai pumso parodharma yato bhakti ajoktaje ayatuje aprityato yayatma sukhita. Not this verse. Where is that? Shramam eva kevalam? What number is that? Savai pumso parodharmo yajok bhakti ajoktaje. Not this one. Shramam eva kevalam. I think it's 1, 2, what? 1, 2, 26. Okay, 1, 2, 8. Yeah,
128, Prabhu.
correct. Sorry. The occupational activities a man perform according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of God. So if you do not come to this understanding that Krishna is all in all, then all this is wasting time. Right? You're just simply wasting time. What is the purpose of life? Our purpose of life is to revive our Krishna consciousness. And instead of doing that, we get attached to all kind of nonsense. Then we are simply wasting time. Building up again the next body. Again come back and again do the same stuff and again go on and on and on. So the quickly we can put a stop to that, that will be our greatest benediction. That's the purpose. Thus, for a person who is entangled in family life, it's going to be a challenge. But nonetheless, by always praying to Krishna, Krishna will always help me. Yes, realization is important. Yeah? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Very good. So therefore, it's very important that one take up the process, That's why we are emphasizing that you wake up in the morning, you chant your Mangala, you perform your Mangala Arati, you chant your round. This will create them some discipline and some seriousness. This is the next question, how to get the seriousness. And this seriousness can only come when we associate with serious devotees. If you don't associate with serious devotees, how are you going to become serious? Is it possible? Not possible. Huh? Understand? There should be some examples for us to see and try to come to the standard. Huh? That's why you can see here in this verse also. I think it's 7:10. I hope I'm right. See, O my worshipful Lord, because the seed of lusty desire is the root cause of material existence within the core of everyone's heart, you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptom of a pure devotee. So you see here, Prahlad Maharaj has been sent down to show how a devotee should behave. Right? Without the examples of seeing a pure devotee, how we are going to get the strength? That's why we have got Prabhupada who came. I exhibited all the symptoms of how to perform our devotional service, an example to look forward. If there is no examples and no association, then the seriousness cannot take place in the heart. So knowing this, Krishna, see how Prahlad is speaking. He sent the devotee to help. Bhakti-Rasamrita Sindhu has given considerable discussion about Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha devotees. Nitya Siddha devotees come from Vaikuntha to this material world to teach by their personal example how to become a devotee. The living entity in this material world can take lessons from such Nitya Siddha devotees and thus become inclined to return home back to Godhead. A Nitya Siddha devotee comes from Vaikuntha upon the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and shows by the example how to become a pure devotee, Anya Bilasita Sunyam. In spite of coming to this material world, the Nitya Siddha devotee is never attracted by the allurements of material enjoyment. A perfect example is Prahlad Maharaj, who was the Nitya Siddha Mahabhagavata devotee. Although Prahlad was born in the family of Hiranyakashipu and atheist, he was never attached to any kind of materialistic enjoyment. But desiring to exhibit the symptom of a pure devotee, the Lord tried to induce Prahlad Maharaj to take material benediction, but Prahlad Maharaj did not accept them. On the contrary, by his personal example, he showed the symptom of a pure devotee. In other words, the Lord himself has no desire to send his pure devotee to the material world, nor does the devotee have any material purpose in coming. When the Lord himself appears an incarnation within the material world, he is not allured by material atmosphere and he has nothing to do with material activity. Yet, by his example, He teaches the common man how to become a devotee. Similarly, a devotee who comes here in accordance with the order of the Supreme Lord shows by his personal behavior how to become a devotee, a pure devotee. Therefore, is a practical example for all living entities, including Lord Brahma. So this is the idea, there must be an example. Whatever great man does, the common man follows. Whatever instruction he leaves, the whole world try to pursue. That's the verse in the Bhagavad Gita. So there got to be an example. So unless we see an example, how we can get this idea of to become serious and strong and strict and all this? So unless we see some strong personality, spiritually, that will not give us the impetus to take up the whole process. And if we see everyone doing the lazy method where they slip through and don't follow and everything, then the whole thing, is just, it becomes a fuss. Then nobody makes advancement and everybody is spiritually become very, very weak. You follow this point? Therefore, it's very important association. That's why the whole scripture is stressing on association. Association of devotees is so important, especially advanced devotees association. This is the impetus for making spiritual advancement. If someone doesn't have that kind of association, then he's simply wasting time, If you take association of people who are advanced, then the whole thing is a problem. In fact, it is stated here in this verse that associating with people who are not advanced is forbidden, A devotee should always try to hear about spiritual matter and should always utilize his time in chanting the holy name of the Lord. His behavior should always be straightforward and simple, and although he is not envious but friendly to everyone, he should avoid the person who are not spiritually advanced. See this point here. He should avoid the company of persons who are not spiritually advanced. Why? Why is it said like this? Because if you go to people who are not spiritual, right, rather than you improving, you will drop down to their standard. And that is detrimental. So in order to advance spiritual understanding, one has to hear from authentic sources about spiritual knowledge. One can understand the reality of spiritual life by following strict regulative principle and by controlling the senses. To have control, it is necessary that one be non-violent and truthful, refrain from stealing, abstain from sex life, and possess only that which is absolutely necessary for keeping the body and soul together. One should not eat more than necessary, he should not collect more for the family than necessary, he should not talk unnecessarily with common man, he should not follow the rules and regulations without purpose. He should follow the rules and regulations so that he may actually make advancement. There are 18 qualifications mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, among which the simplicity, one should be without pride, one should not demand unnecessary respect from others, and one should be non-violent. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa. One should be very tolerant and simple, one should accept the spiritual master, and one should control the senses. These are mentioned here in the Bhagavad Gita as well. One should hear from authentic sources how to advance in spiritual life. Such instruction should be taken from the Acharya and should be assimilated. It is especially mentioned here, Nama Sankirtan Cha. One should chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Either individually or with others. Lord Chaitanya has given special stress to chanting of this holy name of the Lord as the basic principle of spiritual advancement. Another word used here is Arjavena, meaning without diplomacy. A devotee should not make plans out of self-interest. Of course, preachers sometimes have to make some plan to execute the mission of the Lord under proper guidance, but regarding personal self-interest, a devotee should always be without diplomacy. He should avoid company of persons who are not advancing in spiritual life. You see again, Another word is Arya. Arya is a person who are advancing knowledge of Krishna consciousness as well as material prosperity. The difference between the Aryan and non-Aryan, the Sura and Asura, is in their standards of spiritual advancement. Associating with persons who are not spiritually advanced is forbidden. See this again? Associating with persons who are not spiritually advanced is forbidden. Chaitanya Sangatyak, one should avoid persons who are attached to the temporal. Asat is one who is too materially attached, who is not a devotee of the Lord, who is too attached to women or enjoyable material things. Such a person, according to Vaishnava philosophy, is a person non grata. A devotee should not be proud of his acquisition. The symptom of devotee are meekness and humility. Although spiritually very advanced, they always remain meek and humble, as Kaviraj Goswami and all the Vaishnavas have taught us by personal example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that one should be humbler than the grass on the street and more tolerant than the tree. One should not be proud or falsely puffed up. In this way, one will surely advance. So you see, all these conditions are laid out, especially this advance. One should be very careful not to associate with not advanced people, because it will bring you down to their level. The root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotee. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, association with devotee is still more essential. See how important it is. Everywhere it says, association is so important. Yes?
Yes, bro.
You understand? Again, it says here, one should taste the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of pure devotees, and one should associate devotees than oneself, and who are endeavored with a similar type of affection for the Lord. So you see how relevant and important it is. So whole idea of making advancement is association. And if we do not associate with advanced devotees, then we are going to have a lot of problems. Then we will not make progress, spiritually, very detrimental. Yes?
Yes, bro.
Is it clear?
Yes, bro.
This is very important. So unless you associate with people who are very strict and serious, then now you will also become strict and serious. Common sense, isn't it? Yeah? Or for fear of becoming very serious and strict, you don't go to the devotees. Is that a good solution? Yeah? Like someone commented, don't go to the ISKM because they're very strict, They were commenting about ISKM. Don't go and join them. They're very strict. And all here you see the whole philosophy is to become strict. And if you go to such kind of association, how you will grow spiritually? Tell me. Yes?
Yes, bro.
When you become a sadhya, you take things easy. If you take things easy, then what will happen to you spiritually? Very important. We have to understand these things. Yes?
Yes, bro.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Sundar Gopāl Prabhu. We take some humble basis.
Yes.
I do have one question. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 24, it speaks about how you get liberated and never come back when you pass away in the sun. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 24. So I just received that question that, like, what does this mean? Because it was talking about Brahmin, and Prabhupada says in that purport that it's not really truly you come back, but in this verse it says you don't, once you pass away, after 24, it says in verse 26 that you never come back. And so says, verse 26.
Yes.
Yeah, this one. Yes. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. So is this not coming back in terms of the Brahma Jyoti in this verse?
Our position is what we pray by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know. He
Yes,
says that I don't want wealth, I don't want women, I don't want followers, I don't want, you know, I only want to devotional service, you know. Life after life, you know. You know this verse we chant in the morning, yes?
Yes.
It's Shastaka prayer. So that
Yes.
is the mood of a devotee. Devotee is not interested in coming back or going anywhere. He doesn't care. As long as he can be doing his devotional service to Krishna, he's in the happy state. That's why a devotee is saying, even I have to go to hell, it doesn't matter. As long as I can be serving you, I'm okay. You understand?
Yes,
So that is the mood that we have now to imbibe, you see. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us these 8 prayers to make us understand how we should pray as a devotee. See? Of course, these verses all are there to go to the spiritual world. If you pass in the day and in the night, you come back and all that. But a devotee is not bothered. Even he have to come back, he only want to be a devotee. Like Brahma is also praying. Even I have to take birth again, I only pray that I will be a devotee. I'll be born in the house of a devotee. You understand? So that is
Yes.
how you should learn how to understand Krishna consciousness. Because trying to get salvation, as normally the case with the other denomination, are always into salvation. If you accept so and so, you're going home to Godhead. If you don't accept, you go to hell eternally. And blah blah blah. This has been ingrained in your consciousness because you're coming from such a background. So
Yes.
now we have
Yes.
to learn to understand that for us, even we have to go to hell, it doesn't matter. As long as I can be your servant, I am happy with you.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So this is a much higher aspect because you're not asking anything in return. See? So devotees are like that, you know. You can see here in this verse. Everything that can be achieved by fruitive activity, penance, knowledge, detachment, mystic yoga, clarity, religious duty, and all other means of perfecting life is easily achieved by my devotee through loving devotional service unto me. If somehow or other my devotee desires promotion to heaven, liberation, or residence in my body, easily achieves such benediction. So for the devotee, you know, going back daytime, midnight, night, it doesn't count, you know. They're going back to Godhead. But you see the mood of the devotee, this is what is important. Because devotees possess saintly behavior and deep intelligence, they completely dedicate themselves to me and do not desire anything beside me. Indeed, even if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they do not accept it. You understand? So this is what
Yes.
that actually captures the Lord's heart, you know. Because he's not asking anything from me. So how can I forsake such a devotee? I cannot forsake him. You understand? So that is the mood of in devotional service. We don't want to ask anything from the Lord. We only want to give. Okay? So to ask for liberation, it is not a, it's a contaminated consciousness.
Yes.
Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kamis, Sakala is Santa. Those who want even a Mukti is considered as not pure, contaminated consciousness. Only devotee, Niskama, devotee, Bhakta, Niskama. He is, because he has no material desires, he is actually very dear to Krishna, very peaceful. So try to understand the mood, Our mood is just like what his name, Dhruva Maharaj, after he asked this, he wanted to get this big kingdom, but when the Lord offered him this thing, he went back dejected. He was walking back in a dejected mood. Why did I ask this nonsense? I mean, I saw the Lord and he could have, given me so much, but I went and asked for some broken glasses. What is this consciousness? You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that is love. For Krishna is love. I don't want nothing. In fact, Bilvamangal Thakur is saying, for a devotee, liberation is waiting at his doorstep, waiting to serve him. There's a difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. A non-devotee is always requesting something, but a devotee doesn't want anything. That's the mood. That's why it says here, my devotee possess saintly behavior and deep intelligence. They completely dedicate themselves to me. They don't want nothing from me. That is pure love. You understand?
Yes. Yes,
Worrying
Prabhu.
about midnight and daytime, and we don't have to worry about this part. Krishna for a devotee will take him also in the midnight hour, doesn't matter, Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. We don't have to wait for all this.
All these verses are meant for the yogis, who are trying to go back to God by their own mental strength. We don't do that, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's why we chant these prayers every day in the morning so that we can realize that this is the standard, Yes?
This is the standard.
Yes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has only given these 8 verses and they are revealing how the mind should be in serving the Lord. The
Yes.
whole 8 prayers sum up the philosophy of our whole Krishna consciousness. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So don't worry about this verses not very relevant for a devotee. Huh?
Yes.
Understand?
Yes.
That's why you see in that same part of the Bhagavad Gita, you can see here in this 8th chapter, text 28 here, what Krishna is saying. Vedeshu yajneshu tapeshu chaiva dhaneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam ateti tat sarvamidam jitva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service, that means a person who is a devotee, is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifice, undergoing austerity, giving charity, abandonment, speculation, fruitive activity. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this. At the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. You see this point here?
Yes, Prabhu.
Devotional service. You see that? A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of results of all this studying Veda, performing sacrifice, doing austerity, giving charity, pursuing spiritual and fruitive activities. Yeah? Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and in the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So, what is the loss for a devotee? See how Krishna is summing up the whole chapter.
Mm.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Ah. So why you have to worry about this midnight and daytime and nighttime and all? Too complicated, Why we have to worry about it? And also you do not know when you're going to die anyway. Hello? Unless you're a powerful yogi, I don't know, maybe you are, but certainly it is not with everybody. Yeah? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. I'm no yogi.
Correct. So we become a devotee and surrender to Krishna. Whether he wants to deliver us or he wants to curse us, that's up to him. He is our worshipper Lord unconditionally. You understand?
Yes,
So you
Prabhu.
know the story of the Brahmin and the cobbler, right?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes. Yes,
ah,
Prabhu.
that is what it is. The Brahmin, he was puffed up, How can you say I go 100 lives, you're crazy, Narada. And the cobbler, he humbly accepted there's so many leaves in the tree, okay, I will carry on, If that's what the Lord desires, it's fine. You understand? So this
Yes,
shows
Prabhu.
the devotion. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Ah, so we should be very is it not?
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So better to surrender, That's why Lord Brahma is also praying the same way, Even if I have to take future birth, let me take birth in the house of a devotee. Huh? Oh, my phone ran out. Anyone knows that verse can take it out for me? Ran out of power. In 10:14, you can see that my reference book. So who knows can help out in that verse. Even if I have to take future birth, Brahma is praying. Anyone?
I'm looking right now, Prabhu.
And the 10:14, Brahma is saying, when I have to take so many births in the future,
Ten, 14, 34, Prabhuji.
34,
Mhm.
10, 14, 34. Yahweh is praying here. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth, whatever, in this forest of Gokul, and have my head bent by the task following the lotus feet of any of its residents. The entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Mukunda, the task of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. See this point here? This is what he's praying, Lord Brahma, who is the topmost person here in the material world.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
So he's not praying to get liberated. He says that even you have to take birth any birth, whatever, in this forest of book, he wants to take birth in Vrindavan. So everybody praying like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also praying, teaching us. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim akavit, na jagadesa kama, imama janmani janmani, bhavatat bhakti haitu kitro. Birth after birth. I just want to be your servant. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So try to understand the importance of devotional service. In devotional service, we don't have any requests. Huh?
No request whatsoever.
No. So, okay, I guess we are coming to the end of the session. Anybody has any last question before we wrap up?
Thank you, Prabhu, for your guidance.
Silently from you makes our restless mind peaceful, and all glory to you, all glory to our King and Bhavani. So, okay, I guess please pray for us that we can preach Krishna consciousness favorably to many people and do some small service to Prabhupada. With that, I would like to thank all of you for inspiring me, carry on my work here in India for the time being, and also to other places. We're leaving India next week, going back to Singapore, and hope that the Indian preaching stays vibrant as ever. Please push on preaching the movement. Thank you all very much again. All glories to all of you. Hare Krishna.
All glories to you, Prabhu, and
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
for your
Thank you
classes.
so much, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.